Hello and welcome to RMU Focus. John?
Well, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. We are in a new semester, the first show of the new semester.
That's right, and there's a lot happening over the past week and couple of months actually since we've been back. But what's happened over the past week, Austin?
There really has. So in this past week at RMU, there were multiple events hosted here on campus. First up, Robert Morris celebrated 100 days until graduation for seniors prior to the men's basketball game versus Bryant last night. Also last Saturday, Phi Sig held their very own Sports Olympics in the John Jay Center as a part of their Rush event to recruit new members. And finally, this Tuesday, RMU hosted a CPA Summer Programs presentation in the Franklin Center to discuss internships, leadership programs, and some full-time opportunities with various companies. Speaking of companies, John, we were talking earlier, why do suit companies put 2 buttons on suits? Why do you think that is?
Not sure.
But we may put multiple buttons together on a suit, we may not. But what is meant to be put together? Legos. RMU Central Media Zone, Nathan Gauderisi traveled to Lego Night and sat down with Brittany Burmester, the president of the Lego Club. Let's take a look.
My name is Brittany Burmester. I'm a CA here on campus. I'm a senior statistics and predictive analytics major, getting my master's in data analytics. I'm also the president of the Honors Club, and I'm also president of the Lego Club. My brothers were usually the ones that got the Lego sets, and then like all 3 of us would get together and we would just either build the sets or we would just kind of go off on our own. So I think I've had exposure to Legos since I was like 10 maybe. Yeah. So I joined Lego Club my freshman year because my CA at the time was actually the one that started Lego Club, and I would just like go whenever we had meetings. Then also sophomore year, occasionally I would go, and then I took over. So I think what I enjoy most about Legos is that there's no limit to your creativity. So anything that you like see or anything you want to do, you can make it happen. You know, whether it's just freehand or there are a lot of tools on the internet that you can use to like create a model, like a blueprint yourself. So, and then I mean, it doesn't do the step-by-step instruction like the Lego sets do, but you're kind of able to figure out like, I need this many like pieces that look like this, and I need this many like flat 6x2s and whatever it may be. So definitely the most memorable thing was we built a Romo's head out of Legos, which was super fun. The hat was the hardest thing to build because we wanted it to look like the hat did, so we had to like build it out like this, and it was frustrating because the pieces kept falling off. But there's actually like a special glue that is made that you can put on Legos so that they stay, and we ended up using that to make it stay, so that was pretty fun. So I think it's a little bit difficult to make it the way it was, considering that I'm not an engineer, so I don't think the way that the previous president did. But I think I would like to have meetings like bi-weekly starting fairly soon so that people who are interested can come, and also that way someone who is interested in the Lego Club will be able to take over next year since I'm not going to be here anymore. It's definitely open to everybody. I mean, you know, you need the engineers to kind of like get the logical stuff down, but you need people who are like more creative thinking to figure out what we want to do next as like a big project, because doing little things every meeting is fine, but having like a bigger goal in mind is kind of what drives the Lego Club each semester or each year. So I think right now there are like 15 members in the club, so I think just like word of mouth for now would be good. It's typically been a very like small club. So we had a blueprint for building a smaller scale model of the Rogel Chapel. So that's something that we could reintroduce if we wanted to, but might also look at doing something else. So come to the Lego Club. We'll probably have meetings on Wednesdays. I think it'll be every other week. Check the portal on Revolution, because that's where the message will be sent out. And we'll probably also create an event on the Revolution calendar so that anybody can see it. So if you like to play with Legos, like to de-stress, like to have fun, come and join Lego Club.
Hello.
That's a good way to word it, John Hannah.
So how long have
Well, I started Blend Reviews in 2017 sort of as a joke in high school because I used to go on Twitter and complain about The Walking Dead. So I was like, I'll just make an Instagram account. And it's still kind of a joke, but as time went by, we got better at writing reviews. My friend Ian Moran joined me, and we just occasionally keep them posted. We keep them coming.
So going off the review, I heard that you saw 1917 recently.
I did. I saw it at the Toole Family Theater. There's an article that went up. Go to RMU Central Media to learn more about that.
So just your thoughts on the movie.
Overall, I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, it's a spectacle. The biggest, I don't want to say gimmick, because it wasn't really a gimmick. It was more of a strategic move in the movie and just creative. It was all recorded in a way that it would come off as if it was all taken in one shot. Obviously, there were some cuts here and there, but you couldn't really tell in the way that they were done. It's a movie of sight and sound, John Hannah. The cinematography is beautiful, and the sound design is fantastic. The score goes along great, and it has a really good presence in the movie. One thing, there was a scene in the movie where a soldier is walking out of a building at night, and the only lighting that you see is from cannon fire and flares, and it's fantastic. The score there makes it feel like this beautiful shot, which is weird because war is not a beautiful thing, but it just goes to show with good cinematography, good lighting, good acting, what you can do to create those emotions. The movie also does a really good job at making you feel alone, which is something that's really powerful in a war movie. And it really just draws you in there. Like, time travel's not possible, John Hannah, but they did a pretty good job of making me feel like I was in World War I, which I don't know why I wanted that, but I was enjoying it when I was there. It was impressive.
And then just quickly, obviously you're going on and on about the cinematography. How was the story itself?
The story itself felt a little cliche at points, but I mean, war movies have been done for years and years and years, so it's hard not to feel like you're recycling certain plot points, but overall, if you just take that for what it is and you just keep watching it, you're going to have a great time because everything else just completely blows that out of the water. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you for coming on, John.
Thank you, John.
And coming up after the break, our own Kaylee Whitlash is sitting down with Michael Misko, the director of Don't Dress for Dinner. Stay tuned here on RMU Focus.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So,
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to teen-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/firedrill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
Hello and welcome back to RMU Focus. My name is Kaylee Whitlash and I'm joined today by Michael Misko, who is the director of RMU's spring production of Don't Dress for Dinner. Now, Michael, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got to RMU?
Sure. Well, I took the Parkway. That's not what you wanted to know, is it?
No.
No, you wanted to know how I got here. Well, I'm born and raised Moon Township, graduated Moon High School. I have a background in theater. I went to college. My degree's in musical theater performance from Shenandoah University in Winchester, Virginia, and worked around the country. and my wife and I lived in New York for a few years. And after that, we decided we wanted to start a family and we wanted to come back home. So we moved back to Pittsburgh, and through some connections, I got introduced to John Locke, the great John Locke, problem solver extraordinaire. And he asked me if I would direct a play. And then I said, sure, what play? And he said, what do you want to do? And that's pretty much where we are.
Oh, wow.
So
can you tell me what the show is about?
oh, man. Yes, I can try. Don't Dress for Dinner is, it's hysterical. It's about, stay with me on this.
Okay.
A man and a husband and wife, and she's going away to see her mother for the weekend. But he's got his girlfriend coming to stay because his wife is gone for the weekend. But he's also got his best friend coming to stay as an alibi. But then when the wife finds out that the best friend is coming to stay, she decides to stay because we find out that she is having a secret affair with the best friend. So then she decides to stay, and the girlfriend comes in, and then there's this whole thing with a cook who gets mistaken for the girlfriend. It's a bunch of mistaken identity, a girlfriend who plays a cook, and a cook who ends up playing a girlfriend, and then the boyfriend is in love with the wife, who is not in love with the husband, who is actually in love with the girlfriend, and then they have to, the best friend and the husband have to improvise at breakneck speed to figure out how the heck to get out of the situation. There'll be a quiz later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a sticky situation. So why in the world did you pick such a complicated show?
Well, it's only it's only complicated when it comes to an explanation. It's not complicated to watch. It's very cut and dry when you're watching, honestly, because we know, as the audience, we know everything.
Yeah.
Or I should say, we come to know everything.
Right.
We don't start out knowing everything, but we always know more than the rest of the characters know. So I picked it because when John asked me to direct a play, he said, pick something. The only thing I want is that it's funny. It just has to be hysterical. And I'd like to have, not like a two-person show or something. We'd like to give some opportunities. So I went and I started looking at all the stuff that I knew that I could put together, that was funny, that didn't have ridiculous set requirements. And this was the first one that was on top of my list. It's a play that I did about 8 or 9 years ago. I was in it at a professional theater in Kansas, of all places. And I remembered loving it. I remember it being hysterical. It's very fast. And so that was pretty much what drew me to it, was how funny it was, and the fact that there's 3 guys, 3 girls, so it's an even distribution of weight in the show as well. It's not the 2 guys are really the main characters, but the way that these girls weave in and out, and they're so funny. So the guys really get what's coming to them at certain points in the show.
Well, that sounds like a good time. So the show opens in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So.
wow, thank you for reminding me of that.
Oh.
We have a lot of work to do before then, but it does. Yeah, we open on February 13th, and it runs that
Awesome.
weekend.
So any reason why that's on Valentine's Day?
Well, I mean, when you look at sort of like the stories of illicit lovers and husbands and wives and all of that stuff, it sort of fit. We could either do it Valentine's Day weekend or we were going to do it the week after, and it just sort of, it's a nice date night if you want to bring your significant other to come out. If you if you don't have a significant other and you want to laugh at the foibles of those that do, you can come out and see the show. So it's go grab a bite to eat, come and see the show. It's fast too. I mean, you'll be in and out in under 2 hours, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
This isn't live, is it?
No.
It's not. Oh, good. Yeah, we can cut that out.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Well, that's certainly a show you won't want to miss.
Definitely not. Please buy your tickets now. Buy them often. Buy more than you need, really.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us
Thanks for
today.
having me.
Of course. Now I'm going to send it back to Austin to tell us a little bit more about Army Radio.
All right, thank you guys. To get even more RMU-related content, be sure to tune into RMU Radio. You can listen live with the Radio FX app or follow RMU Century Media on Podbean for the latest podcasts talking sports, music, movies, and news. We'll be back right after the break here on RMU Focus.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Welcome back to RMU Focus. Our own Garrett Roberts sat down with esports head coach Richard Zapp to talk about their campaign for humans of RMU. Let's take a look at what Garrett found.
The face of athletics is changing around RMU, with esports entering the ranks of the RMU club sports. Rather than jerseys and gear, these competitors are using screen names and avatars to make a name for themselves and compete with other colleges. The new industry is one the Colonials are excited to engage with. While setting up a lab is easy, finding someone to fine-tune a team can be difficult. Esports coaches don't grow on trees, and with the new emphasis on college-level esports, coaches are recruited as soon as they're created. For RMU, the leader in esports training is Richard Zapp, head coach of the new esports department.
My esports experience came back from about 15 years, mostly through trading card games where I've had a lot of success, ranked top 10 in a couple different games over the years.
Zapp first found his competitive drive in trading card games. Placing in the top 10 for Kaijudo, a spin-off of the Duel Masters series, Zapp quickly made a name for himself in competitions. After his success, he began his career in coaching.
About a little over a year ago, I had a couple peers and teammates that I've worked with that we wanted to give back out to the community, so we started a Patreon program where we do regular coaching and mentorship.
His production studio, 3XG Productions, was created to help creators grow communities and help competitors improve their craft. As a result, Zapp and his team learned a lot about coaching on digital platforms.
We go everywhere from text-based articles, that tends to be our bread and butter, to videos, usually utilizing YouTube. We do a little bit through Twitch, and we utilize Discord heavily to create a community that fosters growth, and through there we'll have podcast-like conversations and different engagements with the people we're working with. At this point, we have 300 to 400 different individuals that are donating to us to provide regular mentorship and coaching, and it's transferred well into my experience here at RMU.
After leaving Slippery Rock University, Zapp sought a way to use his skills as a competitor as well as coach together in his career. When a position at RMU was asking for both, he found a project that was perfect for his skills.
As I was completing my master's in higher education at Slippery Rock University, I walked away from it knowing that I was open to any position that could help me support students in whatever their individual goals were. During my 3 years there, I had worked in their career education development office, so I was helping students with resumes, cover letters, mock interviews, professional development across the spectrum. And when I heard about the esports position and thought back to my experience in coaching and success in games, I realized that experience in coaching plus higher education equals coaching and higher education, and it motivated me to learn more about RMU's program.
The teams quickly warmed up to Zapp as a leader, making him a member of the culture in the esports room. Rather than having the team act independently, he trained with the players and learned each of their specialties and quirks. Along the way, he became a closer mentor with the players.
And to be a witty double entendre, coming from the Pokemon Zapdos from the first generation, but also I'm a junior, so Zap 2, Zapdos, Zap Junior. I thought I was witty. People liked it more than I thought. I remember I had an argument with, not an argument, but a conversation with some of the students where I was trying to decide if I wanted Coach Zap or Zapdos on my jersey, and then they insisted Zapdos because it was that rad.
Esports is a difficult concept for some to understand, so one of Zap's responsibilities as a coach is finding ways to recruit new players and make the public aware of what their program is all about. By creating a campus culture for esports, as well as creating a way for parents and other generations to understand this new concept, there can be a pipeline of support for the program.
And I think through that, that's when we started to be able to monetize gaming at a professional level. And I think not everybody realizes that more people are watching esports than they're watching golf or tennis right now. So whenever we take that idea and we say, well, hey, there's opportunities not only to make money in this field, but you're also developing skills in public speaking and media production.
Under Zap's leadership, the esports department has put a focus on recruiting high school students for the team and creating a buzz about the Colonials program.
I think our goal as a university is to make this program as great and as large as it can. And while that's great for the students that we have now, there'll be a time where these students aren't here, where they graduate and they get to explore the great unknown. So while we are thinking about today, we have to put just as much thought into what's to come tomorrow. So by working with high schools to educate them on the size of esports and where esports, the trajectory it has, and where it can grow, by supporting those high schools, we're also not only helping the community, but we're also preparing ourselves to be able to support these incoming students in the ways that they want.
Zap doesn't hope to just coach a team and receive a paycheck. Instead, he wants to create a program that surpasses the competition and pushes the Colonials further than ever before.
Over the next 5 years, my goal is to make Robert Morris University the premier school for esports in Western Pennsylvania. I think by continuing to grow our program, by building our resources, by building relationships with different organizations, like the sponsorship we just acquired with Game Fuel, that we will be able to expand our brand, our reputation, and that'll increase our size. A bigger size means we are able to hire more staff, and that means we're able to support the students more in whatever their goals are. And it's kind of a circle of ultimately helping as many students we can the best that we can. And as long as we're moving and growing in that direction, then this program's beyond a success in my.
For Colonial Sports Network, I'm Garrett Roberts.
And as Garrett mentioned in that package, obviously this Monday there's a brand new site coming up as part of the RMU Central Media co-branding Academic Media Center. That is Colonial Sports Network, your new home for all the student-run, student-operated sports coverage you could want for the Colonials. But we still have news as well. For all updates on RMU sports, for now, news and arts and entertainment, head over to rmucentralmedia.com for the latest student-run stuff. Coming up after the break, Austin and I will be breaking down our places to be and what you should watch out for in the next coming week at Robert Morris.
I was physically at school, but my mind wasn't at school. I had problems at home. That's when I met Narnese. She started helping me a little bit, like, Nia, I don't know what you're doing, but your future is more important. She's my strength. It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. It changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So, I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here.
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys. Preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
Ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Home fire drills give your family a plan of action. In a home fire, you may have less than 2 minutes to get out. So when you drill, show everyone 2 ways out of the house, pick a safe meeting spot, and get there in under 2 minutes. Then practice home fire drills at least twice a year. You can even make them fun. So everyone knows the sound and exactly what to do when they hear a smoke alarm. Go to ready.gov/firedrill and learn how to prepare your family for home fires.
To RMU Focus. Now, earlier in the show, Austin broke down the places or the things that happened over the past week. Now, I'm here to tell you what's going to happen over the next week. So, everything actually is on Wednesday this week. Wednesday, there's an RMU Century Media open house right here in this studio.
It's also Tuesday and Thursday,
Yes,
John.
that is true. I know the Wednesday one is from 2 to 3, so if you have free time, come down. Come great to learn about Century Media. On Wednesday as well from 12 to 2 in the PNC Colonial Caf. Phi Sigma Pi is helping out, or is doing Help a Cousin Out. They're actually making dog and cat toys for local animal shelters.
That's very generous of them.
And then Wednesday again, in the third floor of Nicholson, is the Study Abroad Fair hosted by the Center for Global Engagement from 11 to 1. I actually have a friend that's studying over in Ireland right now, so if you're watching this, Megan, hi.
Would you ever want to study abroad, John?
I was thinking about it, but it's just, it's not really time cards for me because I'm so busy doing other stuff here.
Yeah, I would prefer not to study abroad. But one place that I would want to be this weekend is the UPMC Event Center for this Saturday's games, men's and women's basketball doubleheader versus Central Connecticut. The Blue Devils of Central Connecticut are struggling absolutely mightily this season. Both teams in conference play have 1-8 records, John. Not very
that's a
great.
bit nice to say they're struggling mightily. You could just say they're pitiful.
They're not great. So this should be a great opportunity to watch your Colonials take care of their business with minimal stress involved if you go to the game and for the Colonials, and be able to mentally prepare yourself for John's place to be.
That's right, Austin. My place to be, the CAs in Apartment CAs are hosting a Super Bowl 54, that's Super Bowl LIV for those of you that like Roman numerals, watch party in the Salem lower lobby on Sunday starting at 6:30. There'll be free food for everyone involved. I know. You're a college student. You have to love free food.
You got to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's courtesy of the Office of Residential Life. And I took a poll of, the crew members and the cast and everyone up in the Century Room. The votes were 8-6 wanting the Chiefs to win, 1 vote for the halftime show, and then our very own Sonu Babu gave a vote for the Puppy Bowl.
Pretty good. Go watch the puppies before the game. But, John, who do you think will win the Super Bowl? I want the Chiefs to win, but I think San Francisco is just too much with their running game.
See, I think it's the opposite. I want the Niners, but I think Kansas City San Fran has a great defense, but I think Patty Mahomes is just going to be able to air it out to Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. He's been a bit of a disappointment. Obviously, he was from Buffalo 4 years ago now.
John, I want to see a shootout. I just want to see something 35-32 final score. But what are we looking forward to as the second semester begins? We're already 3 weeks in.
I know, it's insane. We're also losing a week because of spring break.
We are.
I'm planning on going to D.C. Are you have any plans?
I don't know what I'm doing. Probably back home.
Oh, good old Baldwin.
Back in Baldwin. I don't know. Come up with something good that I'll be able to do. Who knows? Maybe take a trip. Probably not, but we'll see.
How about your classes? Anything you're looking forward to so far?
Classes are good. I got a lot of good, interesting classes. How about you, John? Anything fun?
I'm taking a rock and rhetoric class that is amazing. Dr. Pinson, a great teacher. If you're a comm major, it's an elective for you. It's a class that you can take. So, I love that class. It's great. A lot of kids from Century. If you can take it, Dr. Pinson, great teacher.
My big addition has been being on more RMU-TV shows like Sports Talk in the Berg, Colonial Sports Center, and here on RMU Focus. And with that, this does it for the first episode of RMU Focus in 2020. Let's make this a great year and a great decade, hoping the future holds better fortune than this first month of January did for everyone. That's been that great of a month, I think we can all say.
Yeah, hopefully we're looking forward with 2020 vision.
That is true. So for everybody in the control room and in the studio, I am Austin Bechtold.
And I'm John Hanna.
We will see you next week. Have a great weekend and an amazing Super Bowl Sunday.